Hi everyone, this is Brian with Anderson Pens, and today I want to talk about the Sailor 1911 versus the Pro Gear. Let's take a look. Okay, today we're going to take a look at the differences between the Sailor 1911 and the Pro Gear or Professional Gear series. Now, some confusion can be made due to the fact that Japanese markets call these pens by different names. The 1911 series is sometimes called the Prophet, and within the Pro Gear Slim models, they are sometimes called Sapporos, and 1911 standards are sometimes called 1911 midsize. So we'll get to those pens in a minute, but in the United States, they're simply called the 1911 and the Pro Gear. These two pens are the full-size models, so the 1911 large here, and the Professional Gear, or Pro Gear. They're very similar in appearance. However, you will note the Pro Gear is more of a flat top design, and the 1911 is torpedo shaped. So very much like a cigar, very reminiscent of, say, the Montblanc style. So that's the first thing you're going to notice. Now let's bring in the smaller size. And I'll put them on either side here. And you're going to see on the left here, the yellow pen is a 1911 standard, sometimes called the 1911 S or 1911 M for mid-size. A little bit shorter, a little bit thinner. On the right here, we have a Pro Gear Slim, again sometimes called a Sapporo, considerably a little bit shorter and a little bit slimmer. Now in the U.S., another way to easily identify these, the Pro Gear, the 1911 large and the Pro Gear both have 21 karat nibs. The 1911 standard and the Pro Gear Slim, the smaller versions, all have 14 karat nibs. So that's a pretty easy way to identify them if we're talking U.S. versions. And let's take a look at the nibs themselves. If I'm looking at the 1911s, you can see here the one on the right is the 21 karat nib in the 1911 large, and the one on the left is the 14 karat nib in the 1911 standard. Not only is the large 21 karat nib, but is also a little bit larger in length and in width. Same thing with the Pro Gear. The Pro Gear on my left is a larger nib, and the Pro Gear Slim on my right, a little bit smaller, 14 karat. Now, with the Pro Gear series, there are different styles of nibs. You'll see in this case we have a tri-tone nib. Sometimes they're gold, rhodium, gold, and sometimes they're rhodium plated, gold, rhodium. And in some cases, they are all rhodium plated. So just keep that in mind if you're looking at different pens. Sometimes you can swap nibs, but this particular nib is designed to go with the Pro Gear with the gold trim. Now, of course, each of these pens also comes with a much larger, oversized version. And to give you kind of an idea, I'm going to take the standards away here. And these, of course, are called the King of Pen. And these are a much, much larger pen, also with a 21 karat nib. But as you can see here on the left, the 1911 King of Pen really makes this 1911 large quite small, and if we put up the 1911 standard, it's kind of tiny by comparison. It's much larger in girth, and it's considerably longer. Now, these pens, the King of Pens, have a little bit different nib, and you'll see here on the King of Pen it has a tri-tone nib like you see on the Pro Gear, which is unique to this pen. You're not going to find a tri-tone nib on a 1911, but this pen also has some softness to it when you write, so I can actually spread the tines a little bit, if you can see that. It makes it a little soft. These come in medium and broad nibs only, whereas the rest of the series, for the most part, comes in 7 different nib sizes. Now the Pro Gear King of Pen, being that it is a little bit more of a flat top design, is actually shorter than the 1911 King of Pen, but it is quite fat. Same girth. Posted, nice length posted. Along with the large size, the standard full-size models, Sailor also makes piston fillers. Now, all the pens we've talked about thus far are cartridge converter fillers. Sailor calls a piston filler a Rialo. So it doesn't matter whether it's a 1911 format with the tapered ends or if it's a Pro Gear format with flat ends. It's a Rialo. So this is a Pro Gear Rialo on my right in burgundy, and on my left a 1911 Rialo. Now the unique thing about the Sailor Rialos is you see the ink window exists below the cap band. This is kind of a nice feature in my opinion. When I'm pulling the pen out of my case, if the pen is empty or near empty and I have to go somewhere where I'm going to be taking a lot of notes, I can see immediately how much ink is in my pen. Kind of a nice feature. They operate on the normal principle. Rotate the knob on the end and you'll see the piston come up. Rotate clockwise to fill the pen. The Pro Gear Rialo is a little bit different from the standard Pro Gear size in that they have tapered the end of the pen a little bit to accommodate the piston knob. So as you can see here, it's actually, you put the gold ring is a little bit higher up, but that allows you to grab this knob here. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to do it. It would be very difficult. Okay, and lastly I want to take a look at how the Sailor 1911 stands up to a couple of other pens you may be familiar with. In the middle here I have the 1911 large. On the right we have the Platinum 3776. So you can see they're both fairly equal in length and in girth as well. The left two pens we have in the middle the King of Pen and then the iconic Montblanc 149, the Meisterstück. As you can see, this King of Pen from Sailor is actually a little bit longer. It's a little bit bigger of a pen. However, when we go to post these, you'll see they're about the same length. This King of Pen actually posts a little deeper on the barrel than the Montblanc does, so that gives us a fairly comparable pen. Both about the same girth, but that gives you kind of an idea of the sizes of these pens. So there you have it, the Sailor 1911 versus the Sailor Pro Gear. Be sure to check us out online at andersonpens.com, in the store, or at any of a number of pen shows nationwide.